Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Easy Does It, a podcast created specifically for the amazing members of the MJ team. Rob and I are back with you again, excited for another great episode. And today, listeners, it is the 50th episode of Easy Does It.
Cue the sound effects. We'll figure out how to add that later.
It is also our last episode of 2025. And I know I sent this out in an email with our last episode because it was right around Thanksgiving, but really still just cannot express how grateful I am to be able to get to do this with both Rob and Korey, and what we get to bring to the people at MJ. I just feel super blessed to be able to do this. And quite honestly, it helps tremendously with my own personal growth. So I have a lot. I have a lot of credit to give to the podcast.
Yeah, this has been life-changing, being able to go through these topics, self-growth, getting to spend so much time with so many great people, and the feedback from you guys, just shooting us emails or following up with us in the hall. That's been awesome. I mean, it puts a little wind in your sails, but this has been a great experience, and I hope it's been a good experience for you guys too. But this has just been great.
Yep, it has. Okay, so we really gonna go off the rails today. Being episode 50, we're gonna try something a little bit different. So we don't really have a topic for today, per se. We're going to talk a little bit about our favorite episodes of season 2. So funny to even say that. Like this is like a mini-series sitcom. I don't know. It's weird.
It's like Law and Order. 25
37.
seasons. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also we're going to have Korey jump on with us today. So you'll hear his voice.
Hello, guys.
There he is. Yeah. Yes. Korey's going to jump on with us because, of course, he's a huge part of this. The time that he spends going through and just editing and listening and getting this out to the world is awesome. And so we want to hear his take on his favorite episodes as well. So he's going to jump on with us, which also means that he gets to do the Would You Rather.
Dang right.
Okay.
No zombies in this one, Korey. I got you. Okay. So this one is, would you rather, we're reflecting back on 2025. So this one's semi-reflection back, but would you rather be able to send a message to your past self or receive one message from your past self? Send one back or receive one.
So all with the past self, no future self involved.
No future.
Send one back.
Or receive one
from
your past self. I just watched Back to the Future the other day. It just hit me. I was like, this is a good one. That's a good movie, by the way.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Revisit. Oh man.
I don't know about the last one with the Wild Wild West situation, but
I don't know if I watched that one.
Yeah.
I was watching the original McFly and I was like, yo, this is.
The first two were so good.
That's one of the movies that I've never seen, but I know so much about it just because it's culture. Mm-hmm. So I know everything about it, but I don't think I've actually sat through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any of them.
It's so great.
It's a good classic.
And my kids love it too. This was just crazy.
It's like my wife would be proud to say this and call me a hypocrite, but it's like Home Alone. You got to watch it. Mm-hmm. They watch it like 19 times in November.
Oh, wow.
And then it goes up from there in December.
It goes up from there.
Yes. It's like on all the time. We were doing tile at the house the other day and can you turn that on? And I'm like, I'm out. Like, I can't do this again.
I can't listen to Kevin McAllister again. No. Okay. I'm going to go with send one to.
Okay.
I'm going to go with send a message to my past self. Not that my past self would listen, because I kind of feel like this is like when you're trying to teach your kids things, and it's just like they can't hear what you have to say yet. Mm-hmm. I think I would, because I've learned so many things, as I've gained experiences and matured, and I feel like I've learned so many things that it would be nice to tell past Meredith, like, maybe some of the things that are holding you back, weighing you down, that you're overthinking. At the end of the day, this is just, they're not that important.
Yeah.
They're not that critical. Life is going to move on. I think about when you have your high school breakups and your things like that. And it's just like, how will the world ever go on? And, in hindsight, of course, is 2020, but I feel like some of the things that I really took to heart and let bother me tremendously, I feel like I could tell my past self to let go of some of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
I can see that. I think I would be the other one, which is receive a message from the past.
Yeah.
It feels like a movie moment where it's like, remember who you are, Simba. Like it's one of those like, you know what I mean? One of those moments where it's like, okay, you have something to tell me. So it's like a core belief or something, or a kid where it's like, remember that 8-year-old you that like wanted to be like a policeman or something where it's like grounding me where I am, where like now life is so like up in the air and it's like, just remember who you are.
Yeah.
So I would think I'll pick that one.
I love that. I love that.
Unless this is something that's not important, and then it's just like, all right, you're just a kid. Like, don't,
Yeah.
you don't know the real world, guy. Relax.
Yeah, it was funny. Tosin, a new member of our IT team, he listened to our last episode about curiosity, and part of what we talked about there was like how you're so curious as a kid. And he emailed me the other day and was like, if only we continued to question the world and think about the world like we did when we were children.
There we go, Tosin.
Yeah,
There we
I know.
go.
So it kind of makes me think of what you're saying is like, we held some things dear then, and remembering about that. I think
Or
that's
the basics of life.
Yeah.
Is there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Things were so earth shattering when you were a kid. It's like the breakup, or I have got to have this pair of shoes. My life will end if I don't have it.
Yeah.
It's so earth shattering. And then time goes by and it's like, I don't even remember what I was so upset about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I was really torn with this one. I wanted to know what y'all were going to say because I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to say.
Well, we haven't helped you since one of us chose each one.
Yeah. I do think it would be really interesting to receive a message from your past self of maybe it could be completely life-changing, of something like remember who you are, or trust yourself. I think even when you send a message back to yourself, this would be a curious question. Do you feel like the message that you would send back to yourself would be the same one that you would receive from your past self?
No, I feel like that's impossible to have the same one.
No?
Yeah, I don't think they would be the same.
Yeah.
Because like the message I would send to my past self is like, girl, it's okay. Keep on keeping on. Everything is gonna be fine. Don't get yourself too worked up. I don't think that's the same message that my past self would send me now.
What would that one be?
Look at you. I don't know what that one would be. I feel like maybe it might be something along the lines of like, remember what you love, remember what you lose yourself in, because as a child, that's what we do. We dance because we feel like dancing, and we sing because we feel like singing. It doesn't matter what our voice sounds like. It doesn't matter what the movements look like. So maybe it would be something along those lines, is like, don't forget what you love, what brings you passion, what you get lost in, because we do that so often as a kid and less so as an adult, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's more like a perspective that they'll give you from that.
Yeah.
Less of the message, more of just like you said, it's a perspective that you're not thinking about in your day-to-day adult life.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, life can be that simple.
Yep.
I think, and this might be true for everybody, but I think I've learned now that who I am is plenty. Like, I don't have to be someone else. I think it's easy for us to compare ourselves to other people and just, if I could just be this person. Ultimately recognizing that you are enough and they could never be you. Like, you come with your own set of talents that they probably ain't saying nothing, but they're like, dang, they're actually pretty good at that, And so if you, instead of comparing yourself for as long as you have, just get rid of that need and just be like, if I just would have tapped into who I was way back then, I could be a lot farther along. And so I feel like that would, if I was going to send a message back, it would be like, be who you are and let your freak flag fly, baby. Let's go.
I'm gonna say that's the message you need in like high school, middle school.
Yeah.
When you're trying to be fit in and trying to just fit in, when it's like the secret sauce is being you.
Mm-hmm.
The cool kids are cool because they're being them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody likes it. Just be yourself too.
Okay, what did you what did you decide? That's what you decided?
I don't know what I said. Living in the moment here. No, I think I said, didn't I say it? Yeah, I would send a message back.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd send one back. Let your freak flag fly.
There it is. There's the message. The whole
in the podcast.
The whole package.
That's our last episode. Let your freak flag fly.
That's actually probably pretty fitting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think anyone would be surprised by this. I did pull a few numbers.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I wish Korey's got all the data in the backside, so we'll have to use him for that later. I just pulled. So what inspired me was everybody's posting their like Spotify Wrapped right now. Or probably Apple has their own version of that. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's throw a few things out there about Easy Does It. And I also thought it was so cool. Shout out to Rachel Griswold. She sent Rob and I a screenshot the other day, and her number one podcast was Easy Does It.
hey.
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, even in my own Wrapped, Mel Robbins was my number one because that's what I listen to frequently to and from work. But then even just seeing the Easy Does It logo in my Wrapped on number 2 on Spotify was like, I don't know, it was kind of like otherworldly.
That's crazy. Next to Mel is you know.
What? Like that's crazy.
And then Brene Brown.
Right.
And in Spotify Wrapped too, they have the people come on and they're like, oh, thank you so much for listening to my music or whatever. And so of course I had a message from Mel Robbins and I thought to myself, where was the invite?
You pop up on your own screen. Thank you for that'd be amazing.
Where was the invite for us to thank our listeners? But hopefully they know how much that we appreciate them. Okay, so here's yes. Okay, so here's a few things. So this was season 2 of Easy Does It. And I don't know anything about how podcasting actually works, but we've continuously numbered our podcasts through season 1 and season 2. So today is episode 50, as I already stated. This year, we put out 24 episodes, which is crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. We produced roughly 43 hours of listening material.
Wow.
That's almost 2 days we done sat in here and talked.
And talked. Yeah.
So roughly 43 hours of listening material. Our first video podcast came out in March of this year, which is funny to think back to when we would sit in Rob's office with the mics and, we had to start somewhere. And now look at this amazing setup that we have. Even going back and watching some of the first videos where we didn't have like
just a blue wall.
Just a blue wall.
Was it a blue wall or a white wall? It's like, oh man.
And then now it's just so awesome to see, kind of where we've come there. We've had 5 guest hosts this year, 14 total since we started. And we released our very first episode, which this was kind of hard for me to believe, it's been more than 2 years ago, November 27th, 2023.
Wow.
Is when the first episode of Easy Does It aired. Which means we obviously recorded it prior to that. So anyway, I was inspired by the Spotify Wrapped, when they're like, you listened for this many minutes and this many genres and that kind of thing. I think, of course, I'm a nerd, so I like that kind of thing. But I also think just looking at that is just a lot. I feel really proud of where we've come from.
Yeah.
So
I remember being in that office and sitting there nervous. I'm like, what if I mess up? Like, what if I say something like, I don't know what I was thinking? And I just remember sitting in there. I think we had the lights on at first,
Yes.
and then we turned the lights off. It's like, this is easier. It's low key. People walking by, looking in the windows.
yeah.
Had to put the sign out in the hall, so it was quiet out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But man, it has come a long way in just 2 years' time. Getting to spend time with y'all, hear your thoughts. And it's even funny sometimes we get done with the podcast, we wrap this thing up, and then we keep talking afterwards. Like, dang, hit record again. Like, this is too good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't even believe those metrics.
I know.
That's wild. A lot of people, a lot of good chats, a lot of learning. And I know it's the same thing for you guys, but just being able to talk through this stuff, do a little bit of research and talk through it. Like, I've become a better person and focused on a lot different stuff than I would have or wouldn't have if we wouldn't have been on this.
Yep. 100%.
And so many podcasts fail, right? They do 6-7 episodes and then they're like, I said 6-7. They did 6 or 7 episodes. I have a daughter. And we've gotten to 2 years of doing it. And so I think that's really great. And we haven't even really pushed it hard. It's just for our employees for the most part.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's, I told these guys, the podcast has been for me, one of, if not the most transformational thing I've done in my entire life. Like, it is just really hard for me to put myself out there and to trust myself to know what to say and can I have a script? Can I say everything that I planned? Just in my own confidence, it just is. And I think that it now makes it easier for me to then say to other people, like, put yourself out there. Because it's hard to say put yourself out there when you're not putting yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I think that this has kind of allowed me a space to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it speaks to Morris-Jenkins and Brandon
Yeah.
to just have a company that's in the service trade where we have a podcast that's really helping people, and it speaks to Morris-Jenkins and who we are. Everyone has a podcast these days, but I think what we're trying to do with it is really just trying to help people, improve them. And sometimes we throw in some blue collar stuff in there, but really it's about anybody can use this.
Yep.
So that's what I love about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to share our favorite episodes of season 2. Now, obviously, this was incredibly difficult for me because I don't like to. Decisiveness is not my strong point. I'm pretty sure we said 3. I may have 5.
5. Okay, Mark.
Just make the rules whatever you want the rules
do
to
whatever
be.
you want. It's not like it's your podcast.
Okay, so do we want to start with guests episodes or do we want to start with just our regular?
You make the decision.
Okay, let's start with regular. And when I say regular, I mean just me and Rob talking. That's what regular would be defined as. Okay, so I'll say what mine is. And number 1, I would like to know if we have any that overlap because I think that would be cool. But then also talking about why I chose that one. I think all of mine kind of had a theme of why I liked them the most.
Okay.
When I kind of took a step back. So the first one that I want to kind of throw back to is the one we did on climbing the ladder. Mm-hmm. That was back in June. It was also, Korey and I talked about this before we started. It was hard for me to think of episodes that weren't more recent, because that's how our brains work. They hold on to them longer. But as I looked through the list, I think I really liked the fact that we were able to bring a different perspective. And for me, that's what a lot of mine, the ones that I chose, that's kind of the thing that I think I liked about those is that we were able to offer a different way to look at things. So in the Climbing the Ladder episode, we talked about how climbing the ladder is kind of the conventional way of thinking that we want to move up. And the only way to get more money or to have more respect or prestige in a company is to keep climbing the ladder. Mm-hmm. And I think what we offered that day is if you want to climb the ladder and your goal is to be a manager or whatever that looks like for you, then 100% pursue that. But that doesn't necessarily mean a fulfilled life or a fulfilled career.
Right.
It's really about finding what you're good at, what you're passionate, where your strengths lie, and then just digging yourself in and making a name for yourself in that spot.
Yeah.
And so I just think that one stood out to me because I do think that a lot of people, myself included, go through life thinking it's got to be up. And I think we were able on that episode to offer a different perspective.
Yeah. Man, I'm glad you brought that one up. That one, I believe we had several reach outs, like where people were like, thank you so much for covering that. And this is what it meant to me. And that's always a good thing to hear. And actually, just like 2 days ago, I was having a conversation with a gentleman at the other building, and he was just saying, man, I find myself sometimes where I get stuck and I just don't know what's next, but I know that where I'm at right now is not where I want to stay. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do next? Like, what's in it? What's in your future? And I was so proud of him for saying, like, I know what I like and I don't want to go the manager route, but I do want to, continue to progress. And he told me some of the areas that he was looking at. And I was just talking about conventional wisdom of that. You don't always have to go from where you're at to manager to succeed or to grow. You can choose anything. And so we started talking about his talents. And Brandon told me a long time ago, it's not always do stuff for people like, hey, do this, or hey, I'm going to do all this work for you. I just put in this quote. I'm like, dude, if you look up Clifton Strength Finders and just figure out what your talents are and find out what path you want to go, maybe what you want to go down might not suit your talents. And I just left it at that. Mm-hmm. The next day I saw him in the hall and I was so proud of him. He came over and he goes, man, I tried to take that test. And that thing was $50, man. And I started laughing. I said, hey, man, at least you looked it up. Like, That's good, because I hoped that he would. But I was so proud of him for actually taking a step and moving in the direction. So the next night I found the free one. I was like, I said, this might be a virus, but I said, here's a free one if you want it. But sometimes you got to invest in yourself. But I just thought that was so cool that he at least had the mind to know like what he wanted to do and then actually took some steps and moved in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was a great one. I think being able to hear about that in a company that you work for, talking about that is kind of like everybody's ears perk up because we all want to kind of advance and we're a learning organization. Therefore, I think that having the podcast talking about that, it's kind of like talking about something openly.
Yes.
And I think that was a really great topic. So I agree with that's one of my favorites too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I have lots of things to thank Morris-Jenkins for, but one of the things is, that's just kind of the alternate way of looking at things. It's okay if I don't ever want to be a manager. Like, I'm just going to be the best damn training specialist that Morris-Jenkins has ever had. Like, that is okay. And so I think that part is nice for people to be able to hear. If I just love going out in the field and working with customers and working with my hands and taking care of people, do it.
Yeah.
Forever. Do it forever. Mm-hmm. There doesn't have to be this idea of up.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably a relief, for some people to hear that.
Yeah. That's the conversation, because everybody thinks you have to go up to be happy. But if you're happy where you are, you're happy where you are. Yep. And you found your talents and your gifts where you're at. And I think that was really great.
Yep.
Yeah, there's nothing like being able to show up to work knowing that I have talent in this and that I get to do what I enjoy every day and I get paid well for it. And my manager's got my back to help me grow. And they of course want me to grow, but I basically I'm at the right, like the steering wheel to decide how far I want to go in this, how much I want to grow. And if you enjoy getting to do what you do every day, then come and do it. Mm-hmm. Like, why not?
Yep.
And so I really enjoyed that episode. That's a good start right there.
Great.
Look what you did. Look what you did.
Okay, somebody else take the next one.
One of my favorite ones, I did notice I had a trend too, but the one that I really liked was one of them was limiting beliefs. Like when we talked about identifying what our limiting beliefs are. There was a start to that one that I want to read again because I think it was a good callback to changing your mindset. But it said, imagine if you woke up tomorrow, nothing held you back. No fears, no doubts, no insecurities. What would you achieve if you broke free from the invisible walls that you built for yourself? Today, we're diving deep into that topic. And so that got us rolling. But man, if you had the life where nothing held you back and you were able to accomplish whatever you wanted to, you didn't have any fears, no doubts, what would you accomplish? And I see it over and over again. I can't remember if I told this story on this podcast, but this happened and it stands out in my mind. Of course, my life is around softball. Had a player, we were playing a 10U team. We're a 12U team. And so we were just doing a little scrimmage, a little scram. And we go out there and we weren't doing so hot. And we ended up winning the game, but by like 2-3 runs. And our girls were all cheerful, but like we were on a losing streak for a while there. And I'm like, I don't know what y'all are happy for because we won by like 2 runs.
No laughing.
But one of the girls comes up to me and she says, she's getting warmed up, and I see that look of terror in her eyes. And I'm like, what's up? And she's just like, Coach Rob, did you see that? She threw a change up. What if she throws a change up on me? And I was like, she's freaking 10. Hit the ball. Like, you're 12. What are we talking about right now? And she goes, oh yeah. And I'm like, completely forgot that I'm like, you're bigger by like 2 feet, and she's not even throwing that fast. And if she throws a change up, that's literally what we do in the cage. Like, I can't throw as fast as y'all. So it was just funny seeing that. But imagine stepping up to plate being like, I'm going to crush this.
Yeah.
Or you show up to work and like, today's going to be the best dang day of my life. I'm about to crush this, or I'm about to crush this podcast, or I'm going to, this customer's not going to know what hit them. Like, I'm just going to roll out the red carpet. This is going to be unbelievable for them. Like, just showing up, knowing that like nothing is going to hold me back. And through this episode, there was something that we said that it's a choice. Like, showing up with that mindset is a choice. That if something's holding me back, it's a choice. And sometimes we don't know what is holding us back. We got to find that, but we got to choose to find that. You can't just be like, oh, well, it's just the story of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when people say that. It's like, dude, come on. You got
Write a different story.
Yeah.
Drop the people's elbow on them. Take them out.
It's crazy. That's just a mental block too. Like, as soon as you realize that, oh wait, I am older than her whole mindset changed.
Yeah.
But like, imagine in life how we can do that. We put people bigger than they are in our minds, and then it's like, oh wait, I got this. So imagine if you approached every game like you're playing the JV team and you're the varsity one. Just in your mind, you walk on the field just with your chest bigger.
Yep.
And that's in life. You can do that anywhere too.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's all mindset.
That is mindset.
Yeah, it is. I was actually just with HVAC install this morning. I brought a little MJU to them, and we talked about mindset and the exact same thing. It's like with so many things that we talk about on the podcast, it's something that we don't give enough thought to, enough time to, enough attention to, enough focus to, but it literally can change and impact everything in our lives. You have to make a concerted effort to think. And I asked them this morning, if you think back on 2025, where have you spent most of your time? Do you feel like you've spent most of your time in a positive mindset and a negative mindset? What is, and you know, the purpose is not to be like Pollyanna, sunshine butterflies all the time. I don't think that's what anybody is suggesting about a mindset. Hard things happen to people, and it is okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel frustrated. All of those things are normal. It's how often do we put ourselves in this place, make the choice to think, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or, you know, I'm not going to be able to hit her change up. Like, how often, if the times we put ourselves in that place are far fewer than the times we put ourselves in the place of, I got this, then we're on the right track. I think it's human, you know, for us to feel different ways all the time, but I think it is really about making that choice to start recognizing what are those limiting beliefs and what am I going to start doing to work through them.
Yeah. Last story on mindset. When I played high school football, I'm not the biggest guy on the field, but so I had to change my mindset. And I think it's a Batman quote where it's like, you need to become fear. So like when I was kind of scared, I had to psych myself up and say, why am I scared? They should be scared of me. And you kind of get to the point where like, I am fear.
Yeah.
And I psych myself on a run down there and I just like throw my whole body because it's like, I'm the fear they should be scared of.
Yeah.
And that's just a mindset shift. And until this day, when I'm scared to do something, it's like, why am I scared? They should be scared of me. And then I just go in there and just go at it and it changes everything. But it's all mindset.
Yeah.
I just saw a clip this morning. I think it was is it The Watchmen? It's an older movie, and they're in prison, and he comes up to him. The dude's about to shank him, and dude turns around, takes him out, drops him on the ground, throws something on him, just tore him up, and he's like, the guards come and grab him, and they're like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no, that's a huge shift. Huge shift.
Yeah, that's the prison mindset. Like, I'm not scared to be in here. As soon as I get in prison, like, I'll do something bad because then I'm fear. Okay,
Yeah.
So scared, but no, I'm fear.
I just think it's funny how we've found now 2 reasons to come back to tackling people on a football field.
Yes.
I still want to do that.
Who did that video of you?
Randall.
Freaking Randall.
Yeah. As soon as I saw my hand, I knew that
I just want to.
I knew that was Randall.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
I bet it is. I bet it is.
Yeah.
I'm still want to do that. Okay. Korey, do you have one?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I do, but
Are you waiting to guess?
yes.
Okay. All right. I'll do another one because I actually looked at your page, Rob.
You are a jerk.
And we have the same one. So I wonder why we've chosen both. Okay. So my next one is attention is currency.
You're a jerk.
But I'll be curious to hear why you put that on there. So, going along with why I chose climbing the ladder, I felt like this one too was a different take or a different perspective on our attention and our focus and using it. That was the theme for mine. Mm-hmm. I kind of felt like when I looked back at mine, the ones that I chose were ones where I felt like we were able to provide a different, like I said, a different perspective. Even for myself, in some of them, I felt like I learned something or something shifted for me because I was able to see things a little bit differently. This was one of those. Mm-hmm. So I had never really thought about prior to this episode about what we give our attention and our time and our focus to as being like as a currency, just like we spend money and even more so with our attention because it's finite. Mm-hmm. You know, money, we can get more, we could save some, we could do this with it. Attention's not like that. It is I only have so many waking hours in the daytime, and what I choose to give my attention to during that time frame, mm-hmm. and how we spend so much of our attention every day on just like nonsense. I'm pretty sure this is where the Instagram thing came in.
I was going to say, is this the one where you were supposed to be off Instagram?
I think this is the one.
I know. God, why did I choose this?
The same day it was back on?
Yeah, we both chose this one.
I know. Why did I choose this one if I didn't like the outcome?
Still on Instagram?
I just told you oh no, that was Yes, I just said everybody's sharing their Spotify Wrapped on Instagram.
Yeah, no, it lasted less than 24 hours.
Outed
but
herself. Yeah,
I can tell when she left, she wasn't going to do it though. I don't know why she signed up for it.
She put it back on her home screen.
I didn't. It is still off my home screen.
She's like, I just have to scroll over twice. I can do it in my eyes shut. I know exactly where it is.
So anyway, no, I have not ripped that Band-Aid off yet, but I do think that it helped me to see what am I spending my time and attention on. Spending it like money feels different. I think one thing we asked on that episode was like, if you had to swipe your card, for 20 minutes of Instagram, and it was $20, $1 a minute, you know, it has to, let's say $25. Maybe I don't know what the right ratio, it has to hurt enough. You know, it's got to hurt just a little bit for you to think, because if it's $1, well, you'd be swiping.
Well, so you swipe until you realize I spent $100 and didn't realize it. Then you're like, I'm not doing it anymore because it's addictive, right?
Yeah.
So I spent $1, but now by the day's over, I spent $500 because it's only $1.
Yeah, I think
but you own for an hour, so
yes.
That's how those subscription plans get,
right?
Yeah.
And if you don't want any more commercials,
you pay some more. Yeah. So I do think that was one thing we talked about there that kind of stuck with me too. Is like, would I swipe for this time, for these 10 minutes, 20 minutes, hour, whatever it is? Would I swipe my card for that? And I mean, by and large, the answer to that is no. Yet, you know, we continue to do it. And also, too, the fact that it's not free. That time is not free. It feels like our free time, but it's not free because, I mean, Instagram, they getting paid somehow. And so, you know, there's that piece, but it's also not free because I can't get it back.
right?
So I do think I picked that one because I did feel like it was a way for us to kind of put a different spin on something that hopefully help people see how are they spending that finite currency that they have every day in their time and attention.
Yeah. The reason why I chose this one is this is something that I struggle with still today, as I did back then, but also that I have got better at it. Some of it by choice, but other of it just by how the business has been going. I find that my time is even more finite now, and I have to actively make a choice, like how much time am I going to spend on lunch, and do I need to work through it? Or, hey, I've got these 5 projects. I've got 5 plates in the air right now. I don't have it in here. I have it on my desk. I have my Ivy Lee list, and I write down my 6 and I number them, and then I have stayed way more disciplined going through. Like I actually just checked my 6th one off this morning. I was like, thank you, Lord. and then I already got more on there, you know? But it's like I got these things done and it feels so accomplished just going back and be like, here is all the things that I've done because I've been disciplined with my time and attention. We said something during that was how leaky are you with your time? And so that was something that stood out to me of like, am I letting things slip in to where my time is just leaking through my fingers? I asked some of the techs yesterday, everybody laughed because it was a very abstract thought, which I do often. I said, man, when was the last time you squeezed Jell-O?
No.
They all looked at me like, what the freak are you talking about? I said, who in here is a Jell-O squeezer? And so nobody wanted to raise their hand because they didn't know where I was going. But I said, look, if I told you you gotta hold on to some Jell-O and run with it or like protect it like it was your life, how hard would you squeeze it? Like, would you squeeze it real, real hard? What happens? It's gonna squeeze right through your fingers. But if you want to hold Jell-O, you can't just hold it flat in your hand. It's going to slide off. So you got to hold it, but be intentional about it. So I think like we got to be real intentional with our time and our attention because it says your attention is being hunted all the time. So you got to be on the alert and recognize, oh, that's going to take my time. And I understand where it's coming from and that I'm going to say no to it. So I think when you find yourself in that stressful spot, you got to say, where is my time going? And am I being intentional with it? Or if I'm just letting it slip out? And eventually you get to the point where enough is enough. And you're like, I got to fix something. Sometimes you get pushed to that spot, but you got to be intentional with it.
Yeah. My problem is I reward myself with time, with like Instagram. Like I've locked in for 2 hours. I got the project done. An hour on Instagram or like that. And which is the bad part. Cause like you don't need to reward yourself with the thing that you're trying to stop with.
Yeah.
So that's where I slip. Where you've done a good job of being able to kind of, all right, next thing. I'm like, oh, that was nice. Phone out. Let me take some time for me now. Yeah. It's like, I mean, I guess you got to get it in when you can, but
yeah, I
wish I could kind of keep it locked away.
Man, I tell you, after Carolina Game Day this year, the charity event that I do, I was on it for about 3 weeks afterwards because people were still sending messages and asking questions. And then I think Sam took it off her phone first, and then I was like, all right, I'm done. And I was like, I can do that. And so I just took it off. I deleted the app, and it's been awesome. So since September, I hadn't been on it. And then just about a week or so ago, I went back on. I was like, all right, I've been doing pretty good. I went back on there.
Reward myself for being off by getting on.
I was like, I wonder what's going on in there. And the next thing I know, I'm at breakfast. I'm over here with my eggs, and I'm like making eggs in the morning. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm back again. I was like, I need to take this thing back off. But I realize how addicting it is. And it's just like, man, this is not bringing me value. So it's probably going to come back off again. Why not?
and then I yell at my daughter that she's doing that. Yeah. But then she probably sees me doing it. And I'm just like, but I still tell her to get off. But you can't tell me to get off, but you got to get off
your phone. Spend too much time on it.
Yeah, it is funny how we do that. The reward, I find myself doing that as well. It is, which speaks to how addictive it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Okay. Since I stole one off your list, what's the next one on your list?
I'll go again. Shoot. Man, this one was a two-parter. I think it was one of our first two-parters. It was multipliers.
Ooh.
I freaking love that one.
Yeah, that was good.
Man, so that one had so much meat. The fact of when they talked about Magic Johnson, like him just being on the team made everybody better. I put on here, I even have a little picture of it, be Magic Johnson. But man, when's the last time you saw the old Magic logo?
I know.
Orlando Magic. But it was just like, just be a Magic Johnson on the team. Are you multiplying the people around you, their talents? Or are you diminishing them? Sometimes you think that you're being helpful to people, but you're actually minimizing their impact by you having your hands in it all the time. It's like you see girls, Dad, pull my bag, or where is this at? And it's like, are you enabling that behavior or not? One of the girls, she asked me to tie her shoes the other day, and I was like, you can't tie your shoes? And she's like, I'm not good. It always comes untied. And I'm like, all right, let me see you tie your shoes. And so first her laces were loose, and then she tries to tighten it with loose laces. I'm like, yo, that's not it. And so I show her how to tighten, pull these strings now. And then she does her bunny ears weird. I've never seen anybody do bunny ears like this, but she do her little bunny ears, but then she'll pull it a little bit. And I'm like, hook them babies in there and yank on that puppy and then do a double knot. That thing ain't coming loose at the end of the game. I said, your shoes come untied? She goes, no, not once. I said, there you go. You got it. You have the tool now. You don't need me anymore. She showed back up another time. She's like, will you tie my shoes? I said, you're asking the wrong fool. I said, you forget? And she's like, never mind. And I'm like, that's right.
Yeah. So sometimes people just need to be shown it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like we learn things on our own, not knowing the proper way of doing it. And learn it one time and you're good.
Yeah.
Love that.
Don't bring them shoelaces back over here.
You better go talk to him.
But something that stood out to me, and there was so, I don't know if I can always just pick one, but it says a good manager is hard on issues and not the people. So it also says that they do put pressure on their people, but they're harder on the issues. So what are the issues that we have? And then who? Mark Cagle said he read a book. I think it's not what, but who. And so I heard him say that over and over and over again, and it really focused him on, if there's a problem here, instead of me fixing it and finding out what's going to fix it, who could fix this? Mm-hmm. And so it really focuses on who's around me and has the talent for this. And I know as a team, we're about to tackle a big project. I can't remember if it was you. I think it was you. You were just, it might not help, or it might help to figure out what the talents are on your team so you can organize the people around the problems. And I feel like that's the right answer. You build bench strength. They feel better about themselves. Heck, they feel good about it because they're living their talent. But I really like that piece that a good manager is hard on the problem. Not on the people, but they do put pressure on their people because they become diamonds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think a little bit of that episode kind of goes back to something Korey said earlier. I think that episode was really great because we're talking about something that I think you normally wouldn't necessarily hear a company talk about, which is how we believe in managing people. Yeah. Sometimes it's just like, we are management, it's kind of like a top-down command and control kind of situation. And we do really strive here to get to know our people and to figure out what their strengths are and to put them in the right place where we can utilize their strengths day in and day out. We don't ask people to come to work and work on their weakness all the time because that doesn't make for a good situation for anyone. Mm-hmm. The person, the department, the company, nobody wants to come and work on their weaknesses all day. But conventional wisdom would tell us that's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Get better at your weaknesses. So I think those episodes for me kind of fall into that same bucket. I think those were good episodes. We got a lot of good feedback about those episodes too, because it was kind of like we were talking about something openly about how we believe in managing people when a lot of companies, I think, don't necessarily talk about that. Mm. It's just like, that's what happens in the background. Don't ask no questions. This is what's going to be. And it feels different to hear people talk about how we believe in managing people. And I do believe, we have so many people here at Morris-Jenkins that have so many talents and capabilities. Even though that is what we believe, I don't even know that we've scratched the surface yet of what the people that are here are capable of. Mm-hmm. But I think as we keep giving people opportunities to step into their strengths and to tie their shoes themselves. We have to keep putting that in front of people, keep giving them practice. Because you don't even get better. You don't get better at your strengths without having opportunities to do your strengths.
Right.
So I do think that those episodes, I think, were really powerful for me because it felt like we were kind of talking about something that it seems like we shouldn't be talking about. Yeah. But I do think that transparency is really important to people.
Yeah. And that's giving everybody the tools. So if you're a manager and I'm under you, quotations, yeah, I know what it takes to be a good manager. Therefore, I'm holding you accountable. And so therefore, everyone rises because it's like the managers know, the people under them know what a good manager is, what a good leader is. Therefore, everyone kind of holds everybody accountable. Yes. Therefore, the whole company rises, which I think is really cool.
Yep.
I was on a sales call with the entire group, the wrench group, and we were going back through one of Alan's episodes, and they were just talking about some of the things they've tried with their team. We talked about like how you got to be a really good servant. You got to be there. It is not your agenda. It's helping the customer. Like, how are you being a good listener and all that? And one of the trainers, I think he's actually one of the managers, he was saying he was doing a training, and he said that holding accountability for something as small as appearance. So he had his team stand there in a circle, and they had talked about expectations for how you should look when you're showing up to a customer's house, being presentable. And so that next meeting, he said, all right, hold each other accountable. And he kind of stepped out of their circle, and they all were like, you look like trash. You need to shave your face. Your pants are stained or whatever. And they got on each other. He's like, it was awesome to watch. So I think he said the next meeting they came in, the same manager standing there, and he's standing in the circle. He's like, hold me accountable if we need to. And he says, I showed up one time with my shoe untied. And he goes, they gutted me. He's like, they got me. And he goes, I tied my shoes extra tight now. But it's like, if that's one, it's great that the team feels okay holding a manager accountable for something small like that. But two, if the least I got to worry about is my shoes untied, I'm doing all right. But I think that is important. Is I know what it's supposed to look like to be a good manager, and I'm holding you to that standard. It rises everybody up.
Yeah. I think with leadership, being a good leader starts with being a good servant. And so if you're under a good leader and you serve well, now you know what it feels like. So when you lead, it kind of goes full circle with that. And it's kind of the same thing. I know what it takes, the standard what we have. So now if no one's here, I can still uphold that standard and know what it looks like. But I'm obsessed with good leadership and being a good servant as well.
Yeah. And I think even for those same individuals, one of the bits of being a multiplier was being a challenger, which is identifying the problems. And essentially what we teach here, same as identify the outcomes. So, hey, this is what needs to take place. Hey, we need to uphold this standard. What do you guys believe the standard is? And having that discussion, still being able to guide it. It's not always a democracy, but it's like, what do you guys think? But empowering those people to say, go get it. This is what it should look like at the end. How do you think we need to get there? And number one, the buy-in is huge. Number two, people feel good about themselves. You're building bench strength. Whatever they say they're going to do, you hold them accountable to it, and you are now working as a team. And ultimately, from the management perspective, it is easier because people are getting after it, and you're not having to be the gatekeeper, the bottleneck where people come to you for, what decision do you think we need to make, Korey? I don't know. Just let them make the decision.
Yeah. Yep. And it's so much easier to know what the standard is. Like I can get to a goal if I know what it is. So if I know that here's what we do here, it makes it easier on the person to do the right thing when I know what the right thing is. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people just kind of like let you just kind of go and spin, and you're just like, I think I'm doing this right. I think we're doing well. But if we know, okay, this is what we do here, I can do that. And now I feel like accomplished in what I'm doing because I know what the standard is.
Yep. Yeah. That was a good choice.
That was also a favorite. I'm just gonna keep jumping on you guys, but I like that episode a lot.
Was a good one. I think probably in the future we should do something like that again, where we go through a book, something that's applicable, because there was so much meat in that. I mean, I had two whole things, multipliers part 1 and 2. I think we scratched the surface in the first episode and talked about some of the diminishing qualities, and then we hit the multiplying qualities. But I mean, there was so much in that one. Was that Liz? Oh, Liz Wiseman?
Yep, Liz Wiseman.
Shout out, Liz. That's what I'm talking about.
Feel free to use this on your podcast.
hit us up.
I love this podcast so far, though. Like it's little mini lessons that we keep getting that I forgot about, and say, oh yeah, I need to get the book, and this is really good. I like it.
Yeah, it's it makes me think of something that I've heard before. It's like what's meant for me won't miss me. So it's like, I think sometimes it's interesting to hear the snippets again, because maybe it was something I heard before, but now I'm ready to hear it again.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Okay, guests?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I want to say that this part was hard for me because I've enjoyed every single guest that we've had on here. I have learned so much about them as people. Every single one of them, I love it when we have a guest. It just it really shifts the dynamic. It kind of changes. It's really cool. But since I had to choose, do I have to choose?
Yeah,
yes.
You do.
Okay,
it was all of them.
Okay, it was everybody. I am going to go with John Knight. I think John Knight's episode was my favorite. Number one, because I feel like I learned a lot about John. I also I watched a little bit of his episode today, and I did some things with my hands I'm sure Robbie or Randall probably pulled it out for some clip. I still am just kind of a little bit enthralled with how John's mind works. I still think of the GIF, because we also talked about that in that episode, and I don't never know how to say it right, about the man with the equations above his head, and like things. That's how I think John's brain works. And that episode for me just confirmed it maybe is not equations, but that man's brain is kind of amazing to me. So not only that, I felt like I learned a lot about John. I felt like I was just kind of really intrigued by how smart he is and how his brain works. But then he also talked about failing fast and looking at failure differently, which 99C over here, one of my biggest fears is failing, which is one reason why the podcast has been a big part of helping me. But how he's talked about, especially in what he does with the IT, it's like, all right, we just got to try something.
It's good enough.
It's like, we got to try something. We can't keep waiting for it to be perfect. It's probably not going to be perfect anyway. So let's just, get her done. Let her rip, send it and see then what happens. It's okay for it to fail. We learn something. We make some adjustments. We do something different. So I think that his episode stuck out to me for those reasons. And I think because what he talked about I felt like it spoke directly to something that I struggle with and constantly am trying to work on.
Yeah. Who wants to fail?
Right.
And fail often and fail fast. But I think, especially taking it from someone that is as smart as him, saying, yeah, just fail, just do it. It's like, all right, sounds good. Fine. All right.
I can do that. I can do that. Yeah. I can fail.
But dang, I think he and his team are a good representation of his leadership and the fact that, like, hey, we're just going to get this off the ground. We're going to get it rolling and we'll make adjustments as we go. And I know Dewey was a big proponent of that. Like, do it halfway and just send it, and then it's better than just waiting and making it perfect. You're going to always miss the wave, if you will. And so I really enjoyed John's perspective. And there's been a few people on the episode where I'm like, I need to hear more, or we only hit a little bit. Korey, you're one of them. Like, we need to get Korey back on here. We need to talk more. John was absolutely one of those people where I feel like we only scratched the surface, and there's so much more in there. There's a lot of super smart stuff, and then there's hilarious funny stuff,
Yes.
and then there's just fun stuff. He recommended a book to me the other day, and I was like, I haven't read a For Pleasure book in a long time. I was like, fine, and so I listened to it. I'm like, dude, thank you. I'm like, that was awesome. I haven't listened to a For Pleasure book in years, and that was the one that I needed to hear. And he's like, I got more. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
So, no, I super appreciate him. And that podcast was one where, I think we could all take a few pages out of that book of, I need to fail more often. When was the last time that you set out to fail?
Yeah.
I don't know the last time.
No. Never.
It kind of just happens, right? For
Yeah.
me, but
I hope this works out.
yeah.
I thought about that, and I don't know the last time that I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna see what happens. It usually is, I'll be danged if I fail. I will not fail.
Yeah.
Like, I'll stay up late so that I don't fail at something. But just being like, this is good enough. Let's just make it happen.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that was an aha for me during that episode was like and I'd never thought about it this before, whether you plan, perfect, or you do what you can and you send it, you still don't control the outcome. And it's like, I feel like all these years I've probably thought, if I can plan it just right, if I can get it just perfect, then somehow, some way I've controlled the outcome. And at the end of the day, that's just not true. And so it's like for me, what happens is it takes me forever to do something, or I procrastinate and it takes me forever to get started doing something. When the end outcome is the same, I can't control it, whether I send it or whether I plan for it forever and ever and make sure I cross all my T's and dot all my I's.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the things I really walked away with for that one was at the end of the day, we can't control the outcome no matter what.
Yeah. It's just like training.
Yeah.
You plan, build, you made it perfect. You plan for contingencies. And you're like, all right, I feel pretty good about
We're
this.
ready.
And you go in and it's like, hey, by the way, the projector doesn't work. It's broken. It's been broken for all of 36 hours. And you're like, cool. Cool. Now, or you walk in there and you pass stuff out and you think this activity is going a certain way and then it does not. And you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I taught 2 lessons for plumbing yesterday. I did not know how it was going to go out. I did say, send it. We'll just figure this out as we go. I was like, there's going to be some wizardry that's going to have to happen in this. And we did. Have y'all seen The Lord of the Flies? The movie?
No.
There's a book and the movie. Have you seen The Goonies?
Yes.
Okay.
I've heard of them.
Stop it. Stop it, Korey.
I'm sorry.
We're going to have movie time.
Back to the Future.
We're
now,
just going to have
Goonies.
a movie showing for our next
That's
podcast.
right. Maybe
And we're
this
gonna-
is an indication of how much younger Korey is.
Yeah,
We should do that. You
Yeah.
know, we should have like a little screen up with the movie playing and then watch our reactions and we'll just record us doing that.
That'd be fun.
Next
That
one.
would be fun.
You got to have reactions, though. I'm just sitting there watching the whole time, just staring at it.
This is the most boring podcast on the planet. But I had them do, I said, The Lord of the Flies, the premise is kids land on the crash land on an island and then they start to separate. You know, like people are hanging out with each other in groups. Eventually it's like, I'm with this group or I'm with that group. There was the Wild Boys. And then there was like the good guys. The good guys, it was more peaceful. They weren't as aggressive. They're like thinking about longevity here. We're all going to survive. I got your back. And then you had the Wild Boys that were like, no parents, running around in loincloths with pig blood smeared on their face, running around out there. And they were aggressive with each other and the other tribe. And I'm like, longevity. So I said, which team would you want to be a part of, boys? And it was just funny watching the interactions of them trying to convince each other which side they should be on. So the first meeting, first iteration, first round, I was like, it actually went really good for the meeting. And then the second round, I had an exorbitant amount of boys that went to the Wild Boy side and a very small group over here. And then I'm like, they're over there challenging them like, y'all going to run out of food. And then they're like, yeah, but at least we'll be happy. And then he was like, well, when we run out of food, who do you think we're going to eat? Like, this is taking a dark turn.
You're like, I saw this going differently in my mind. When
I was like, what happened? And then I'm like, all right, let's move right along, boys.
Right.
But it's like as perfect as you can plan it. And it's like Jeff Goldblum's chaos theory from Jurassic Park. It's like, you never know how it's going to actually turn out. You can plan, but
Yep.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
But it's okay to fail. You're going to grow.
Yeah, and the failure is good, especially early, like you was talking about. Because there's times where it's like, I failed when I was small, or I'm glad this didn't happen because if this happened now, it's a way bigger problem. I'm glad I failed last year when I was learning how to do it. Yeah. Now we have a whole, Dewey's involved and he's sitting in on our class and I'm trying something new. And it's like, okay, I'm glad I got the kinks out now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So failure is good early and fast.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it might be recency. I know we were talking about this before. All the guests were amazing and it was really hard to pick. But this gentleman stood out to me because his story and the thing that I walked away, I think it was even the title name, the Ron Patrick's pod was just awesome.
I wish I had like the sound effects on this.
Ron's staying green has hit me hard. And it goes right back to what we just talked about. It's okay to fail. And I'm going to be learning. Like even as much experience as I have, I'm still learning. My niece, I was having a conversation with her just over Thanksgiving, and she was telling me she was on an elite team for soccer, and then she ran into some challenges with that. She stepped back down to a more chill league, and she was like, man, it's great. I love it. I'm getting to hang out with my friends, and I'm the best player on the team. I'm like, I bet that feels good. But what is your goal? Are you wanting to play in college? What do you want to do? She goes, I am. And I'm like, all right. Well, if you want to play in college, or do you feel like you're going to hit it on this team, or do you need to change things up? She's like, I'm going to have to probably change things up. And I said, do you feel like you belong on that other team? She's like, I went from being the best player on this team to when I got to that team, I was the bottom player. So much skill. And I said, let me tell you a little story about Ron Patrick. Have you heard of Ron Patrick? And she hadn't. So I walked her through. I said, by the way, there's a podcast. But I walked her through his story from high school and being like king on top of the hill to hitting college and feeling the imposter syndrome of should I even be here? I told her about how he sent his film back to his coach, and he was like, you can either be playing the NFL and stay home over spring break, or you can work at McDonald's. And she just looked at me and she's like, he said that? I'm like, yeah, it's a good coach, huh? She's like, wow. And then I'm like, what do you think he did? She's like, I guess he played in the NFL. I'm like, you dang right he did. We won't talk about the Browns, but I said he played in the NFL. But I'm like, this could be you too. But I said, you too have to find what spot you need to be in. And it's okay to feel like, I feel like an imposter. But I said, he on that college team, he realized he wasn't the best. He dealt with a lot of challenges, but because he was around the best, it made him the best. And I said, it's an honor to be on a challenging team, even if you got to deal with some riffraff. But I said, you're going to get better. It should be good. I'm glad I'm on this team. Otherwise, being the best on a team doesn't always make you better. Mm-hmm. So it's okay to be around that greatness. So shout out Ron Patrick.
Yeah. Doesn't somebody I don't know, I always want to say every good quote comes from Dewey, but about being the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
To me, that's kind of what, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Right.
And that's what that kind of makes me, that's what that makes me think of, is we should always feel like we're in a room where we can learn from others and keep growing and stay green.
Yeah.
I really think that he just said that kind of like off the cuff.
He did.
And it stuck. Like I wake up thinking about that saying. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. That's
a tattoo.
Yeah. That was a really good one.
Yeah. And I was thinking about when you talked about the example of the salesmen standing in a circle and holding each other accountable, when we talked about the teams they played on, and you can tell the culture in different teams and why certain teams are just always better and why some teams just always suck, the Browns. So, and I think that's part of it. There's certain teams have a culture of accountability, and the coaches don't need to tell you. The players kind of govern themselves on great teams. And I love their perspective, because he jumped around to 4 or 5 different teams.
Yeah.
Which some people would say that's a bad thing, because like, okay, you're just kind of everywhere. But also it's like, there's some greatness in seeing how a lot of different organizations are ran, and you can pocket every little nugget you have and then create your own, I guess, mentality on what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was your question. What did you notice the difference on a winning team versus a not so winning team?
Yeah.
And his comment, it stuck with me as well, is winning teams expect to win, losing teams hope to win.
Yeah.
I was like,
yes.
Take that, Shane. But it's so true.
Yes.
If you're going to go out and try to conquer the marketplace, or I'm going to be the best player on the team, or whatever, it's that whole mindset of like, you should be scared of me.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole shift of I expect to win, expect to make the play, expect the ball, expect that I'm going to get a challenge today and welcome it, because I can fail fast or I can grow from it. Either way, it's a gift if you look at it right. But his whole path and story was just awesome. And then even the humbleness. I mean, that dude could squash every one of these fools in the warehouse out there, but he's like the gentle giant walking around, even though he's picking up condensers and throwing them in the trash can by himself and got in trouble. Don't hurt yourself, big buddy. But it's just so cool for someone of his stature and his experience to be humble and say, I still have a lot to learn, while being at an advanced level.
Yeah.
I wish everybody had that mindset. This world and this company, everybody this would be a different place.
Yeah. And that's how you know you really got it, or like you really put the work in, because you can be humble. Like you said, I can beat everyone here, but I don't have the need to want to do that, because I know I can. It's kind of like I have the power, but if people that don't have the power have to kind of fake it like they do.
Yeah.
The bravado's there, all that's there. But when you know you're really him, it's like, I just want to have a good day today. How are you guys doing today? Like, I'm not with the rah-rah today. What's up?
Yeah.
Let's pick up some units.
Let's go out back. We ain't got nothing to do. We're getting squats in, boys.
That's right. Yeah, it's his was a good one. Was his your favorite, Korey, or did you have another one?
No, he was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and if we're going to segue, and Brett. Brett, just because I've known Brett for a long time, not closely, but just seen him rely around Morris-Jenkins, and just to hear his life is just like almost like a parallel universe. It's like, wait, you can live that way? Like you can just go and do, and like certain things that feels like impossible is like, it's just a conversation, right? It's like something seems impossible to you, like, well, let's talk about it. How can we make it work? And then it's like, okay, I can move that and apply that anywhere in my life. I can make this work if we just talk about it. How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And I think he kept saying something about he wanted his life to be a certain kind of way. And he just went out and made it that type of way and didn't care what other people thought about it, right? That's the other thing. It's like, I would love to live this way, but like, oh, what would my mom think? What would my boss think? But it's like, it's my life.
Yeah.
And he's doing it. He's did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very entertained and just in awe of the conversation.
He found the magic key that it's just like, this is the life that I want to live. I'm just going to unlock that, open that door and walk through it. Like it's nothing. Everybody else, like you can do
right.
that. You can live the life that you want.
And meanwhile, we all have the key in our pocket. We're just like, wait, this works. I can turn it and it works.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like someone will pay you to commute from Idaho and teach a class. Turns out they will.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, that so absolutely true. Like just that he and Ashley, this is like kind of the life that we want to live. This is our dream. And like, I think we all say that, it's like, this is my dream. This is what I want. But it's like, no, like legit, this is how we're going to live.
Real.
And I'm not waiting until I retire. I'm not waiting until I have X amount of money or this happens or that happens. It's like, no, this is how we're going to live. And they just do it.
Yeah.
I think that's just that's so amazing. And I think also the other thing from Brett that I think is really cool is that he's such an integral part of this company that we were willing to work so that he could continue to live his dream and be where he wanted to be, but still bring him back here because that's how much we valued him. Which that right there, I think just speaks volumes about who he is. Bleeding blue and yellow and being a part of the Morris-Jenkins fam. I mean, he's one of the all-time greats of Morris-Jenkins, in my opinion. And so I think that him being able to do both like that to me too is just like, wow, kind of in awe of the fact that you have this company that respects you so much. But you respect your own dreams and how you want them to be. And you found a way to marry those two things together. That is just really, it's so amazing. And it does really just say to the rest of us, like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what you doing?
And you can really have it all if you wanted it.
Yeah.
Now there's some downsides to it, the travel stuff like that. But if you want it all, you can kind of have it all. A lot of times we learn like, you can't have everything, but like,
Says who?
Why not? You know?
Yeah.
Says you. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Right.
And it'll be like that. I'm just going to put this out there. I feel like there's only one person that I know personally that's doing it, but it's when people you walk by, how you doing, man? Living the dream. And they say it in that bland monotone voice. I'm like, all right,
it's
bro.
all sarcasm, by the way.
I don't even think they're conscious when they're saying it. They just walk in the halls. They don't even know who they were talking to.
It's the NPCs, right?
Yeah. There's no pilot or there's no captain in there. But when I hear people say that, it drives me crazy. But I feel like Brett is doing it. He's living the dream. It's like, this is exactly what I wanted. And I'm sure if there's any other changes that he wanted to make, it's just like, why not?
Yeah.
I feel like when people live in that parallel universe, there's just something different about them. And it's like, why can't you have everything that you want? And I feel like you can't just be like, I'm going to do something insanely ridiculous. I'm gonna be the first man to actually fly with my own wings. I'm gonna go under genetic testing and changes here, grow my own feathers. But it's just like, I want to start a business. Okay. And I think people will be like, okay, sounds good, man. But what do you want to do? I want to do this. And then next thing you know, you see them 3 months later and they've actually taken 4 or 5 steps in that direction. Okay, cool. And you're like, we'll see. And then 6 months later, they're actually like, hey, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. And you're like, for what? You're shocked because most people don't take that much.
And they're like, I told you. I know you told me you were doing that, but like,
I didn't know you were for real doing it.
You're doing it?
Yeah.
You can't leave. What are you doing?
Yeah. So I think it's awesome and brilliant when you see people make moves on the direction of their life that they want. And I feel like it does empower others. It can be a catalyst, or they could be a multiplier for other people, or just blaze a path. And it's like, if they can do something like that, I can too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Freaking Brett.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we're working on some thoughts and ideas for next year. So, and we have so many people. I mean, there's so many awesome people here. It won't stop, the guest episodes. they'll still be coming next year. Okay, so to wrap things up, I have a few questions.
I forgot about these.
Yeah. Okay. And so I asked, just so everybody knows, I asked if they wanted to know the questions before we started, and they said no.
Nope.
No, but I'm gonna let Rob go first though.
You suck.
Okay. Well, one tidbit of information that I want to share with you before I do this, because I did think that this was interesting. I really tried to use AI to help me with my version of Easy Does It Wrapped. That did not work out the way that I thought it would. I thought that I could like copy and paste my notes and stuff in there, and it would like tell me this amazing data. Turns out I don't quite know how to use it perfectly yet. But it did come up with some words that it found frequently. And some of them didn't make sense for me to share with you guys because it was like words like that and is and are, because it was looking at my notes.
What did you think about that?
Yes. So, but there was one word that came up. It was actually number 2, which I thought was really interesting. And that word was becoming. And I thought that was so appropriate in such a way to kind of capture I think what we believe in and what we hope that we're doing here is, I think we are becoming different people, better people, working on ourselves by doing this, but then that we're also hopefully helping others to become who they want to be and to work on themselves. And so I thought that it was number 2 after some crazy word like that. But I thought that was really interesting that it picked up on that word becoming. And I think that's really an interesting thing to think about at this time of year too. You know, it's like, if I look back on 2025, it's like, who did I become? How did I change? I think that's one thing I've really tried to work on is if I look back at the beginning of this year, can I say that I've grown myself from January till now, even if it's been incremental. I don't want to be standing in the same place that I was 12 months ago. And so I think that word becoming, it just kind of prompts people to think, where have I come from? And then of course, what am I becoming now? Or where am I going in 2026? So I guess I would challenge our listeners to really think about those things and reflect on what that looks like for them going forward. So becoming, we're not changing the name or anything, but that came up.
Changing the name of the podcast?
Yeah, no way. Maybe a tagline.
Becoming.
Yep. Okay. Here's my first question for you. What are your not episodes, not necessarily pieces of information. What are your biggest takeaways from doing the podcast this year?
This year?
Yep.
Korey, what do you got?
Yeah. I would say one, I think being the benefit of having a team, because like a lot of this stuff happens because of all 3 of us putting our hands in and making it work. Where there's sometimes that I can't be here or I dropped the ball and Meredith is on me. She's like, yeah, I got the show notes, or Rob got a class. We have to work together. Because I've done podcasts before. I've done things where it's like I'm doing all the lifting. And that's why it can't really go, because I'm lifting it all myself. Mm-hmm. But now splitting it 3 ways, it's easy when we're in year season 2. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel hard.
Yep.
So I think that's one of my biggest things, where I do everything by myself, usually creatively, and the business that I want to start, everything is kind of just me because I haven't built a team yet. But with 3 people, it just felt easy.
Oh,
Easy does it.
I love that.
I wish I would have gone first.
You passed me the ball.
Dang it. I would say a big takeaway for me, which I was kind of saying it to you the other day when we were in the fundamental focus before we start throwing darts. I really have appreciated the connection. One, learning all this new stuff, it forces you to study and find new ways of looking at things. I mean, it really, truly pushes you. But probably my favorite piece has been connecting with y'all before, during, and after. And so getting to hear your different perspectives, getting to know you better and you better, stuff about your family, your travels, the things that y'all are into. And then y'all bringing your experience to the table and sharing your unique experiences here and off camera. That's been some of my favorite pieces. What'd you say, 42 hours, 43 hours of time that we've got to spend together as a team, just talking through deep subjects, funny stuff. I'd be willing to bet that even people that work side by side with people don't go to the depth that we have as a team. And so I think that's been my favorite part, but it's been a growth moment for me. It's been nice. Most people don't always have that.
Yep.
Yeah. To piggyback just a little off that, I think being able to do this, even though my goal is to be the biggest home service podcast in the world, even if we don't go there, the fact that we're able to do that, it still feels like doing it feels like the win itself. Like some people are at work right now and they're, driving their Amazon truck and they have jobs where it's like you have to kind of be on, they're a surgeon. We get to come in here and have a conversation for an hour. And when I leave the room, my spirit is higher just from having conversation that day. So when Fridays come, it's like, all right, I got this, I got the pod. After that, I'm like either ready to go home because my brain's overloaded, or I'm just like conversations all day. I want to talk to everybody because my energy is already up.
Yeah.
So I love that too.
This is very cup filling.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think that's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. I think that for me, the biggest takeaway from doing the podcast this year kind of goes along with that is, there have been times when I think all of our plates have been full this year. And I think that and there have been times when I'm like, do we have time to do this week? It's like, can we fit this in this week? And it's just like, I never want to give it up. I never want to say like because to me, it's almost like that's exactly what we're telling people not to do. We're telling people you're important. Take the time to invest in yourself. Take the time to listen to a podcast or read a book or come to a class or whatever. We're telling them that. And then to turn around and say that we don't have time for it feels like, I'm not living the message that we're sending. And so I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways is like, even when the plate feels full, because I feel like it has felt full for a lot of us this year, the time and effort that we spend on working on ourselves and having those conversations and connections, I think a big part for me is that's what helps me move through when the plate is full. You know what I mean? It's like it helps me feel like I have the confidence or the agency to be able to take on all the different things that I have going on. Because I know I'm putting this time and effort into myself. Yeah. So I think for me, it's like, it's a constant reminder for me that taking time for yourself and to work on yourself and to research and prepare and come be here with you guys, it is important. Are there times when we have to reschedule and push things back and do that? Sure. But we always come back to it, which I think is for me, it's like, it's important enough for us to keep doing that.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably mine.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready for the next question?
Good question.
Okay, great. All right. So, if you had to summarize season 2 in one sentence, what would it be?
I would say deeper. The first season felt, especially at the beginning, I say muddy as in like, I feel like we were walking through it, figuring this out, what it would feel like, more worried about how you sound and what you were going to say. And so once we got past that preliminary period, this year has felt where we've been able to go deeper. I've been able to go deeper for myself. I know we already like talking about this stuff anyway. So I feel like this is the deep work that a lot of people should take the time to do in order for them to get better. And what better way to do it than to do it with great intellectual people, but also being able to search yourself and say, how do I really feel about this? What are my values? So for me, this year has felt a lot deeper and more intentional than the first year. But I think that's the important work that everybody should do is search themselves and find what value they have, because otherwise the alternative that I've seen and found myself in is Another word that I'm surprised didn't come up was hamster wheel. But you find yourself in the hamster wheel or rat race. I heard the other day they said, you might be in the rat race, but most people don't want to be in it because at the end of the race, you're still a rat.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So get out of the rat race. Don't be a rat.
Don't be a rat.
But it's just like do the deep work so that you can search yourself and find is the space that I'm in where I actually want to be and make changes otherwise. So I feel like this year was deeper. And it was needed.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I think it feels like our sophomore year, like of high school, where like you're not a freshman anymore. You're not nervous. So you're kind of like, okay, this is my school. Or like, you're starting to spread your wings a little bit. You might have made varsity. Like, it just feels like you're in your sophomore year where you're like, I'm still a kid, but also like, I can run this place in a little bit. Like I can
run this place.
I can run this in a little bit. Give me another year. Or you might go to prom your sophomore year. It just feels like it's a part where you got your swing.
Yeah.
And now I think next year we're going to really be the stars we want to be.
Yeah.
I love that analogy. That is so true because I have a sophomore. Mila's a sophomore. And it really does capture how that feels. Last year she's like, kind of how I was on the first season. Yeah, it's like people will say when they listen to the earlier episodes, you sound different. I'm like, I'm sure I do. But now it's like, she feels like she knows where things are and she's hit her strides. I think that's a great analogy. I think mine too is kind of like yours. Mine, I feel like it was, this is not even a sentence, but it was like conversational. It was very conversational. It was very real. And so I felt like we kind of have gotten past that piece of feeling like these are the things we're going to talk about. These are my notes. And we're just, bringing ourselves to the table a little bit more.
Yeah, and leaning on you fully. If you guys don't know, every time before we start, I'm like, I didn't prepare. I'm just going to be leaning on you while I did prepare. But Mary's like, great.
I love it when that happens.
Because she's always prepared. If you were never prepared, we're not leaning on you.
That's right. Okay, well, I don't have any more great questions, but I will say that I do think it's important for our listeners out there. This is a great time of year. Put something in front of you. I don't know what that is. We could probably throw a few things in the show notes. Just it's kind of time to reflect and see what did 2025 look like. What is 2026? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? Maybe that's a good place to start. What do you want more of in 2026? What do you want less of? And then what's something you could do now? Like, just like you were talking about this gentleman that went and looked and said, that test is $50. I'm not paying that. But he went and looked. It's like sometimes it just takes that first step of action. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed our kind of little wrapped. We'd have to come up with our own name, I guess. Sorry, Spotify. We'd have to come up with our own name, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. This has been really great. I'm so glad that Korey jumped on. Always.
That last minute, by the way.
Yeah. Literally last minute, like within an hour of us starting today. But I think that speaks to what we were saying, right? We feel a little bit more confident in being able to pull something off that maybe we didn't fully plan for to begin with. So, we appreciate you guys listening, and we wish you and your families a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. We will 100% see you again in 2026. Until then, peace, love, and easy does it.
Hey, appreciate y'all.